that's going, but it will not. It'll just be the ceiling. Be careful of this computer too. It looks like it might. It's kind of precarious. Stick this up here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so today we are going to be continuing this humongous fungus. And so you can see here, we're going to learn the scientific practice of argumentation with the humongous fungus. And then we're going to start our next experiment, which is the plant growth experiment. Most of the class will be on humongous fungus, though. So what we want to do here is we want to use the evidence that we have collected in our lovely fungal bags to present an argument on how fungi are able to grow so big. Okay? So you will be collecting evidence, and then you can also use outside sources like your phone if you want for reference, because again, scientists do have access to outside sources when they are looking. And then we're going to do a peer review of your idea, where you'll exchange your paper with somebody in the class, and then you'll write a strong final argument. We actually may not get to that last step. And this is all going to lead into our plant growth experiment, which you're going to have to do this process again for the plant growth experiment. Now, when we talk about argumentation in science, we're actually not talking about like people who are like fighting and mad at each other. I guess that can happen in science, but it doesn't very often. It's more often like a Socratic method where people are speaking and they're bringing up points, and then other people are bringing up other points to try to come to an understanding and a conclusion. So when we say argument, we're talking about a persuasive claim to explain why something happens in nature, and it's supported by evidence. So it's not just an opinion. You have some sort of evidence to support that from an experiment or another idea or a model. Okay? So the question that we have that we're going to try to understand and you're going to create an argument for is, how do fungi grow so big? And like I said, you can use other resources or observations. You'll measure your fungal garden and make observations to help you answer this question. Let me go through this with you, and then I'll let you get started here. So if we work at different rates. So actually, let's go back here. If I can borrow one here. So to collect your evidence, what you're going to do to start is you have your lovely fungal garden, and you have the little sheet of paper there. And you are going to color on your sheet of paper where you see the mold. And then you'll take another measurement using rectangles and circles. And we're using rectangles and circles because that's what we used last time. And also for this class, that's where a kid's level will be. And you're going to see which food item has the most mold. And you're also going to look for data on how you think the fungus can grow so big. So if you notice in this one actually has some white fuzz. That's fungus. The green is fungus. And it's just kind of all around. So use your best estimate, create with circles or rectangles to where that is filled in. And then you'll take that measurement and make sure you use the same units you did before. So if you use centimeters squared, use centimeters squared. After you do that, you'll come in and do some of these prompts. And this is just a scaffold to help you create an argument. This comes from a guy named Winchell who does something called ambitious science teaching, and it's really good stuff. But these are supports and prompts that kids can use. So you can see here, my evidence for this idea is, so first you're going to come up with idea. Fungi can grow large because they eat everything, okay? That may or may not be true, but you're going to come up with your own idea based on what you see. And then you'll say, my evidence for this idea is, and then you can use some of your observations. But there's mold in all the food sources. Then what you have to do is you have to come to a level where you're explaining why. Why is this happening? And so here's a prompt. You can see it there. When we did blank, it showed us that blank. So therefore, this supports my idea about blank because blank. So you're basically just filling in that prompt. And you can see I did it for this example. When we added water and let the fungi grow on different foods, it showed us that fungi can eat any food we gave it. So therefore, this supports my idea that fungi grow big because they can eat anything. So what we're doing here is we're working on our thinking process of science, and this prompt is helping you do that. After you do that, we're actually going to exchange it with other people, and they will agree or disagree with you and explain why. but we're gonna just go to this point. So right now, you're going to color, look at the evidence, and then you're gonna come up with an idea to answer the question, how are fungi able to grow so big? Or if you have your own question, you could answer that one too, and then fill out the writing prompt. Do you guys have any questions? You feel okay about this? Okay, right? Good to go. And that's as far as I'm gonna go in the video too.